Hi everyone, welcome back. Um, now I'll be solving next question. So let's get started. Unsolved, easy questions, and in the implementation. Okay. The question is breaking the records. Let's check this. Maria plays college basketball and want to go pro. Each session she maintains a record of her play. She tabulates the number of times she breaks her season record for the most points and the least points in a game. Points scored in first game establish her record for the season. She begin counting from there. Okay. So she got 12, 24, 10, 24 again. So this is how she tablet say these are the games and scored 12. Okay, first game she scored 12 and she considered minimum and maximum that is 12 and like no counter at all, like just set to 0. This is probably a counter. This is what they wanted, most points and least points, probably most breaks like and least breaks. And then in the second game she scored 24, which is kind of max would be max value. We are going to update it as 24, but we have to max counter, we have to increment. And the second, basically the third game, but here it is second game. She got 10, which basically is lower than what we already have, uh, lower than minimum value, so it would be 10, and she broke her previous record, so um, that counter also get incremented. The same is the case. Given the scores for the session, determine the number of times Maria break her record for most and least pointed during the session. Yeah, we have to find that number. What they have given, points score for game, they have given the scores. Return an array with number of times she broke her records. We have to, okay, return back array number of times she broke. Okay, so it basically I will have two elements. One is most points recorded and breaking. Yeah, got it. This is where input is given, probably number of games, and these are individual scores of the game, and output would be two times she has break the high score, and four four times she has break least point. Kind of same diagram. Here it is score, based on score is it breaking the previous version or not, it is being denoted. And this explanation, probably this is other. Okay, here our score is 3 and 3 is the starting, and she never like scored below 3, so probably that would be 0. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, let's get started with this program. We have scores. Now we have to minimum score, maximum score will be scores the first element of the score, right? Will why can't we do that? Okay, I so sorry, but anyway, okay, we have set minimum score and maximum score. Okay, and minimum score counter, maximum score counter will define as int 32. So by default values of integer is 0 in golang. Now what we have to do is we have to loop through this score in scores. We'll loop through the scores, and what we are going to do is, if current score is less than minimum score, right? Minimum score, we will increment minimum score counter. What is it? Okay, it has to be range. Yeah. Otherwise, if score is greater than the max score, she will increment the max score counter. Okay. What happen if the score is in the remaining case? We won't do anything, I think. Okay, seems we have to return int 32 with two values, that is max counter. Probably let's take this. It should be any other, that should not be an issue. And then max score counter and minimum score counter. So let's see how this is going to run. Okay, expected output 2 4 and I got 3 5. Okay, there is some initialization issue. Okay, yeah, I think yeah, it has to start from 0 is, we are not considering 0, so we will consider from 1 onwards. Yeah. Okay, let's recheck. There is one extra counter being added. Minimum score, maximum score, that is correct. We have figured out the minimum score and maximum score. If the score is greater than maximum score, hey, so you have score. If the score is greater than maximum score, then maximum score would be incremented. If score is less than minimum score, minimum score would be incremented, and that is what being written. And slower than 1 3 and running, so 4 and 0. Okay, so where are we missing? Is it something to do with counter? We already changed it to a loop from 1 onwards, like 0 we'll leave it, we'll start with 1 and 1 onwards. Score, is okay. So minimum and maximum would be 10 initially. Like let's take this input, and then it will start from 5. 5 is less than, so this basically this 5 is greater than max score, no, and then 5 is less than minimum score, yes, and that would increment minimum counter, that is fine. And then 20 is greater than max score, yes, and 20 is less than minimum score, no. Minimum score is already 5, it is not less than for sure. Again 20 greater than maximum score 20, no, it's not greater than, so it should not count. Yeah, it's gonna skip. And this would be 4, like 4 is definitely lesser, so counter should go to 2. Okay, 2, it braked again. And 5 uh, 5 5 okay, let's see. 5 is greater than 20, no, again this should not trigger. 5 is less than 4, okay, it should not trigger. 2, no, this one will trigger, this will become 3. And 25, yeah, it's greater than 20, so it has to counter as 1. And then we have at last 1 is greater than, no, and minimum counter should somewhere is the logic has some fault. Let's go through this once. Zero zero, because 24, then she broke her highest record, then we set it as 24. Okay, yeah, we have to, I got it. So once we have to update our score as well, that is missing. Even minimum score we have to update to the score which actually broke the conditions. Yeah, all right, I think hopefully let's see if all the test cases are going through. Perfect, it met all the test cases. Great. So with the same energy, let's get started with the third problem. Okay, sub-array division. Two children, Lily and Ron, want to share a chocolate bar. Each of the squares has an integer in it. So Lily decided to share a contiguous segment of the bar selected such that length of segment matches Ronnie bar month. Determine how many. Okay, the length of the segment matches Ronnie's birth month, and the sum of integers on the square is equal to birthday. Example 222132. D is 4, M is 2. Lily want to find segments summing to Ram's birthday. D is 4 with length equaling his birth month. M is 2. In this case, there are two segments meeting her criteria. 2 which is gonna match Ron birthday. 4 makes sense, and 1 and 3. Those are the sub arrays which is going to match his month. Okay, it has to be two elements which matches M, and addition should be D. Okay, we have to figure out sub arrays. Complete the birthday function in the editor below. Birthday has the following inputs: the number of each of the squares of chocolates, Ron's birthday, Ron's birth month. The return number of ways the bar can be divided. Okay, so the same has been given. Inputs, they gave in 5 inputs, we got 5 numbers, and then in other he said, hey, this is the addition it has to be, that is like Ron's birthday on 3rd of 2nd month, right? Which basically means there should be only 2 elements and addition of them should be 3. So in this case 1 and 2, okay, it will give 3, 2 and the 1 and 2. Okay, so do we have to deal with duplicates or not? We see 1 and 2, like if 1 and 2. And 2 and 1. Okay, Lily want to give a Ron M equal to 2 squares summing D equal to 3. Yeah, the following 2 segments meet the criteria. So is that probably it has to be very sequenced. Probably here 1 1 1 6 are given, 3. No way 2 elements can give you 3, right? Yeah. Two consecutive, yeah. Basically we have to find 2 next to next boxes, which basically gives a sum of whatever we defined here. Okay, let's see how can we solve. So we have to loop through this squares, list of squares, and we have to figure out some squares. So we got the D and M. D is birthday. It should be the length of 2 segments meeting at criteria. So basically we have to break our S such a way that okay, let's see. Let's first loop through. Let's take index as well this time. Each will loop through the numbers in the range of S, and if yes dot I plus yes I1. No, that I can't take, right? I'm just considering two elements. So I have to consider, I have to basically add I have to I have to pick so let's take this example, this one. This would be, we have to add m elements, which basically this is the one. So okay, we'll take from 0 as 0 plus, this has to go till plus 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 this. So let's write a for loop. I don't know how that's going to be. I'll say some number. S equal to 0. S is no, not S. Some number. I'll start it with m and equal. Till n is greater than 0, I am going to basically what I'm trying to do, I'm listing through a range S. We'll loop through this S and basically let's take 1. For 1, we have to make sure that we add two elements, two consecutive elements. First iteration would be 2 elements. And let's say if it is 3, it has to take 3. How can we add this first 3? First 3, then we have to we are kind of looping and updating. So let's say um, Looping, if we are setting to m, this is 2, n equal to 2 and n is greater than 2, and then so now that number plus equal to that number plus equal to so how can we do that? Let's take this as 0 for easy. N is less than m, n plus plus some dummy so let's put I so that it okay, this would be not a thing. Dummy, we have to update dummy plus number, right? And then we have to put like this. Let's see. Okay, I'm just making sure this comparison works. First number and then length of s minus m, so that I don't know what I'm trying to do. Let's convert this to अरे यार why it is kind of getting complicated. For every element in range of S, hey, can I do one thing? Let me do this. Let's see if this is going to work or not. So we are looping through this, and then oh, it has to be set. So many errors. Huh? I know this is killing me. This is just go things, okay? For now, we'll see what else can we do. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to start from 0 and till like last 3 which we can add up, right? And then once we for that once we add, we have to loop through that list for I equal to 0. Let's do this. I equal to 0, I less than m, I plus plus, and then I know I plus plus. This basically runs for twice, and then dummy plus equal to we're just gonna compare, right? If S of that's what we have to do. Dummy, to dummy we have to add 0 to 3 and 0. This I can do that, but it completes the first expression. And then what happens? If dummy equal to waste counter. I don't know what I'm writing. So we'll increment this if dummy equal to t, so that we will come to know how many times it was really trying. Probably we can remove this. We can return base counter. That is fine. Now we don't really need this logic need to be checked. It works for first and then it eventually it's supposed to be num. Plus num. So this would be I only, yeah. Let's give it a try and see. Probably I'll post this in oops. Okay, we got one test case succeeded. That's funny test case. Uh, why is that? If I is number less than 6 minus 3. Let's give this. Number will be 0. 0 less than or equal to what is the length, it would be 5 minus m, that is 2 3, basically 3, 0 1 2 3. Okay, for I, so let's start. That would be 0, and then m is 3 plus 0. Okay, 3, and I plus plus. Okay, so less than 3, it's supposed to be minus 1. No, it's not. I equal to num and I less than int plus number I plus plus. I'm looping, so basically 0 less than 3 till 2 it has to pick, and then it has to add those values. Dummy after counter, probably we have to make dummy to 0. That can be one reason. Yeah, that's the reason. So we have to put it 0 so that like next iteration can be taken care. Let's submit this code and see how it goes. Wow, it went through. Okay, actually done for the day. Probably we can see next one later in this series. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and have a nice day. Bye.